Hello everyone and welcome back to our second video presentation of Bleach Thousand Blood War Season 2. But before we dive into the video, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel and don't forget to ring that notification bell. By Bambieta's activation of Quincy Volstandig Bankai, we can see that she inherits a great deal of power. At that moment, Shinji, the captain of the 5th Division, is next to her and is knocked down by a series of explosions caused by Bambieta. She attacks him again using the blast technique from above. When Captain Sajin suddenly arrives and finds him protected, she is shocked. Meanwhile, as Hinamori prepares to attack Bambieta from behind, the captain quickly lands on the roof protecting her as well, saying that he cannot face her power without a shield or armor. When Bambieta mocks his story and attacks Captain Sajin, his gloves break as he covers them. Seeing that, Bambieta launches a bigger attack on him again. When Captain Sajin's entire armor is destroyed by that attack, Bambieta questions him if you are not a dog. The scene is take us back to Captain Sajin's past in wolf form. The Elder Wolf says that by temporarily breaking the chain of sin that binds them, they can return to their former form before being condemned as beasts and gain the great power of humanizing technology. When Sajin asks how to do it, the old wolf says, "Rip out your heart yourself and offer it to me and I'll give you human technology." When Sajin is asked if this is impossible, he says that since the Quincy's killed Master Generiusai, he will do anything to avenge his death, tearing his heart out. As Captain Sajin has no choice but to defeat her for now, Kukujo activates the Tengen Bankai and attacks Bambieta. So surviving his attacks after she attacks Sajin, she is shocked to see the hole in his chest, and Captain Sajin insists that no one can kill him while in a human body. Hearing this, she runs away in fear, and Captain Sajin cuts her with his sword and creates a huge explosion. Yuak watched it from the throne. As the captain tries to reach the castle, he collapses from exhaustion. When Yuak asks for more time to kill him, the humanization technique expires, and he begins to transform into a wolf. Meanwhile, the Elder speaks to Captain Sajin's mind and says that his human life will end soon, and thanks Sajin for doing this for him. Sajin collapses as the Elder eats Captain Sajin's beating heart. When Tetsuzaimon arrives and takes him away, he says, "Let's kill the bastard Iwak for Master Gunryusai." When Jugram breaks Nanao Ice's barrier, she creates another barrier. He realizes that it is a trap and is ready to take drastic measures to stop it. So he says that he has to go because he received an invitation from Yuach and will come back after Yuach's orders. Mask defeats 3 Shinigami and defeats them. As they hope to finish off more captains, something explodes in the distant sky, and 2 stars crash into the city. As they prepare to head towards it, Hisagi attempts to stop them by chaining them up, but they attack him again and attempt to stomp on the unconscious Hisagi when 9th Division Captain Kensei Muguruma arrives and stops him. Meanwhile, with the power of the king, Ichigo is armed. Mayuri and his team observed the Seirete from the map, and including the wounded, the number was currently 42%, and the combat power was less than 30%. Meanwhile, Akon requests the current status report of all the captains and lieutenants from his technicians. 2nd Division Captain Sui Feng is currently injured, and Lieutenant Omeda has taken him to the first aid station. 10th Division Captain Toshiro's Lieutenant Reitsu is dead, and they are unaware of Toshiro's current condition. Captain Saraki of the 11th Division did not respond to their calls. Meanwhile, the captain of the 9th Division has informed that he will look into the situation with the captain of the 3rd Division. Mayuri then taunts Captain Saraki and says that if you are still alive, do your duty instead of drinking tea with your enemies. As Mayuri thus connects all the members across the city with him, the captain tells the remaining Shinigami to regroup at the remaining 5 barracks. When masked to challenge Captain Kensei of the 9th Division, Captain Rojuro of the 3rd Division steps in and tells him that there are not one but 2 men to fight, and Mask Day climbs onto a rock, pleased. Captain Kensei activates his Bankai, and after a fierce battle, a sharp attack on Mask D's stomach knocks him unconscious. Meanwhile, James's screams make Mask D stronger than ever, and Mask D's attack on Kensei breaks his bones. He comes from the sky and delivers the final blow to Kensei. Rojuro activates his Bankai after splitting James in half from behind. As he is hurt by Rojuro's music, he dodges it and releases a star flash, knocking Rojuro down. As Mask Day makes the final attack on him too, Lieutenant Renji of the 6th Division arrives and stops it. Meanwhile, the lieutenant tells Rukia to take the captains. James clones again and yells. Mask D's strength increases and he unleashes a series of rapid attacks on Renji. Finally, he activates Quincy Volstandig from the sky and launches a massive star attack. Renji stops it by activating a snake's Bankai, and in their face-to-face battle, Rengi burns and destroys him. Meanwhile, Yuak sits on the throne and regains his power after Mask D dies, then substitutes the shadow for Jugram as Yuak falls asleep. The scene is in the royal palace where Ichigo Kurosaki asks why I am wearing so many clothes. Senjumaru says that these clothes allow you to carefully pass through the 72-layer barrier. She knocks on the ground and creates a circular staircase for the Seirei. When Ichigo sees it and gets confused, Kirinji says that it will take at least a week since you have to go on foot. He then says that if you hurry before attacking the Seirei, it can be done in half a day, right? Meanwhile, Ichibei comes and says that he started attacking Quincy 3 hours ago. Hearing that, Ichigo gets upset and leaves to go to the Seirei. After that, he calls Kisuke and tells him not to lose the fight, to fight the fight no matter how hard it is, and he will take care of it when he comes. Meanwhile, in Silburn, Jugram tells Uryu to follow me to show him what Yuak is like. A defeated Kangdu and BG9 are both tied up and Jugram separates their heads. Jugram tells Uryu that after the death of all who receive Yuak's soul, he reabsorbs their powers, knowledge, and skills, and that since you have also drunk Yuak's blood, the shift is embedded in your soul, and you too cannot escape. Elsewhere, Not appears behind Lieutenant Rukia and asks where his Senbon Zakura Kageyoshi is. Then when Rukia realizes that he is the person who stole her brother's Bankai, Not realizes that she is Byakuya Kuchiki's sister. When he asks where Byakuya is, she refuses to answer and starts the fight by questioning if he will come if Rukia dies. Rukia catches and freezes a dangerous reishi thorns sent by Not. He points out that ice cubes can't stop fear, and even the smallest injury can cause fear to seep into the body. He says that once the fear seeps into Rukia's entire body, it will affect you as long as you live. In the meantime, she returns to reality and states that she is not alive, and when her body temperature drops below 0 degrees Celsius, she is turning into ice. Further confirming it, Rukia says that she has the ability to temporarily kill the body to control fear. When she suddenly moves and cuts off the Node's left arm, she announces that the temperature is minus 18 degrees Celsius and no blood is flowing. It is then cooled down to minus 273 degrees Celsius and within 4 seconds hits Not, turning him into an ice cube. In the past, when Not was trying to survive on a hospital ventilator, suddenly Aihuak appeared beside him and decided to empower his existence. Meanwhile, the Nodtis ice is breaking, enabling Quincy Volstandig. So he reveals that Rukia can only destroy cells in sub-zero temperatures, and now that her nerves are activated, he can scare her again. He starts scaring Rukia. When she sees her loved ones decomposing, flies coming from their eyes and mouths and debilitating her, Kuchiki comes to her rescue. After a while sending giant eyes towards them, Kuchiki destroys them all. As Not prepares to terrorize again by enlarging his body, Rukia activates her Bankai and freezes and destroys him. We sincerely appreciate you for sticking with us till the end of this video, and we can't wait to catch you in the upcoming 3rd episode of Bleach Blood War Season 2. Until then, we humbly request you to put your fantastic ideas and valuable suggestions into action. Stay tuned.